Hi, welcome to the Game Dev London podcast. I'm Chris Payne, and today we're going to be talking. I'm with Ed Bennett, and we are talking about free software. So tools that you can use that and pick up for free that will raise your game and allow you to do a bunch of stuff that you might not be able to afford the well-known version to do. Does that make any sense? I'm not sure. Welcome to the podcast, Ed.
Thank you. Again, 2 weeks in a row.
Yes. So I think obviously the elephant in the room is like the game engine, and obviously Unity and Unreal both have a free tier of one sort or another. But I don't want to spend too much time on those because obviously if you are interested in game dev, you probably already know about both of those. Might be worth doing a quick compare and contrast though. I know that you work with Unreal a lot. How do you find that in terms of value for money?
Oh, I mean, I'm a huge Unreal fanboy. Plus, they pay me to do stuff, so I have a bias here. So,
other game engines are available.
Other game engines are available. Yeah, I mean, when we're talking free, I think it's nice to make. I mean, if you do Unity, I'll talk a little bit about the recent free stuff that was added to Unreal, because they've been tearing it up and buying companies left, right, and center, and making their tools either free or incredibly good for game devs. Like recently, I think was it you did the podcast on MetaHumans? So they brought up. All right, so someone did. So they brought up MetaHumans, which I've yet to play with, but it looks absolutely amazing.
It really does.
The Quixel Mega Scans is all free once you're using it. Every month they do a bunch of free giveaways that you can just go in and grab. And oh god, I don't think they bought Oodle. Oodle, have you ever heard of that?
I'm not familiar with that.
Oh god, what is Oodle? It's a speeding up of rendering, I believe. Let me just 1 second. So there was.
Do you mean like an automated optimization tool?
So Oodle, it's a very specific tool. It's called OODLE. It's been used in a bunch of things. Oodle. See, I can only get Oodle car finance. Whereas Oodle now free. Anyway, I don't want to go too much. I think it speeds up the rendering or packs things so that you can run games quicker.
Right.
But they bought up another company which is doing that. But they're just buying people left, right, and center.
It's compression.
Compression, right? Okay. Here's. But yeah. I mean, I'm completely biased, but I'm very aware that Unity has some amazing stuff too. I'm presuming I'm less aware of what Unity has these days, but
yeah, I mean, Unity have been doing a similar thing with like where they see it, like somebody has built a really solid plugin for Unity. Quite often they have bought that up. So they picked up Text Mesh Pro, which was just sort of like an outstanding text renderer with a lot of features. That's now free with Unity. And more recently, Bolt is a visual scripting thing similar to Unreal's Blueprint. That's now part of Unity and completely free. So that's weird. There's been a handful of other things as well. And there's also, obviously, there's the asset store. There's a bunch of free assets on there. And a lot of the things that are paid for are extremely affordable compared to putting your own together. But there's also obviously the other engines such as Godot and what other? I'm trying to think of other free ones. There's a whole bunch of like Cocos 2D and various other things. Most of them are a little bit smaller scale, good for doing like 2D games maybe, but not. There's not so many that are designed really for high end stuff. But engines, most people already have a preference for engines. So I thought what we would talk about is the more obscure standalone tools for doing very specific jobs that you might think are out of reach as a student or as an indie developer. So Ed, what's your, do you want to go through your top 4 and I'll do my top 4, and then I know that we've both agreed on our joint favorite.
Yeah, our top 5 or our number 1 is the same, which most people know about, so they're probably not going to get as much value out of that one. But see if you can guess. Yeah, thumbs up or whatever if you do. It's if you're unaware of it, I'd be amazed. So free tools. So of my list, if I go first, I am a huge fan of. Have you ever heard of it? Is Meshroom? Have you ever heard of it?
I believe I've heard of it, but I'm not an artist. I'm a programmer, so I'm not so familiar with that whole side of the production pipeline.
Okay, well, Meshroom is photogrammetry, photo rendering software. What it does is it allows you to take a whole load of photos and then just plug it into this program, and it goes away and does computing for about, well, depending on how fast your computer is, a good hour or 2. And then I'm vastly simplifying this, but then it pops out the other end a 3D game usable asset of the object that you've stuck into it. Now, that is not representative of how easy this tool is to use or how much cleaning up you actually need to do in the thing. But it is still amazing that you can produce. I mean, this is the method that Quixel was using in order to put together their thing. Now they use a different tool, paid for one. I think actually it's now being made available to people, but it doesn't fall under the category of this.
Okay.
So Meshroom, my first choice. There are if you want to pay a bit, there is an Agisoft Metashapes is kind of the professional version that's used, but we're using it with a prop warehouse at the moment to scan all of their props in order to use for visual production and computer games sort of asset libraries, and it's great fun. You do need to understand a lot of the physically based rendering pipeline because you're going to need to touch it up afterwards. So, but give it a go.
Cool.
Chris, you'll go.
Okay. Well, one of my favorites is Audacity, which is a really good free audio editor. It's not particularly elaborate. It's not something that you would be able to compose music in particularly. You could probably make sound effects in it, but it's largely for like nuts and bolts, kind of like trimming audio files, denoising, cleaning stuff up, cutting out like stutters and things like that. It's absolutely fine, and that, for me as a programmer, that's the sort of level that I need it for, is just to be able to like dive into an audio file and go, I just need to cut this sort of like opening, there's a third of a second of silence on the front of this line, and I need to cut it off so that I can start that line dead on. For basic stuff like that, Audacity is brilliant. I mean, it has a whole bunch of useful plugins as well. The denoising is quite powerful, but you need to know what sort of settings to use, otherwise you can make yourself sound very tinny. It's more powerful than I need, basically. So there's a whole bunch of things that I don't fully make use of in Audacity, but that's one of my basic tool set.
Audacity is awesome. Just last week I was screaming zombie noises into a mic which is actually being used in a prototype we're doing at the moment, and it's just so quick, and you can just, usually the way I use it is, if I'm making them, I'll do the noise like 100 times, or I'll record it into my mic. Then I'll just go back and I'll listen to each of them. And it's got an option where you can just export the selected amount, so you can get the exact cut you want. And it's perfect when you need like grunts and sort of like and sort of sword swipes and sort of really, really simple stuff. Most often placeholder, but yeah, an awesome tool.
Cool. So what's your next one?
Right. Okay. So my next one is actually one that I wanted to add, but I haven't actually spent much time playing with. The reason I wanted to add it is it's recently become free. I think I've got a feeling it's only free for Unity and Unreal people, but that still makes it a large enough number of people that I think it kind of deserves to be on the list. And that is Houdini. Houdini has been something that has been sort of outside of my comfortable price range for a long time, and now they've just gone and made it free. I think if you, a bit like Unreal, if you're making crazy money out of it, then they'll want a cut. But it's amazing. If you don't know what Houdini is,
I have a vague idea. Correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that it is a tool that's come from the like cinema VFX world, and it is designed for making particle effects and simulations that are extremely high quality, and then baking those out so that they become something a lot more efficient.
yes,
is that right?
That's yeah, that's almost what I would say. The only thing about it is you can also do vast sort of procedurally generated landscapes, and so it's to be honest, I don't 100% know. I've stared at it quite a few things. Special effects used massively in sort of cinema and sort of really high end stuff, and you can learn it and be massively in demand. So it's not a small like thing. It's quite, but I mean, I think they're recognizing the same thing that all these other sort of companies are recognizing, that if you are free, the uptake and the people learning your engine is so much bigger that you can end up making money off just selling plugins or having some kind of, it's like everything is moving to free except for Adobe. So that'll never be free.